Hello and welcome. Today I'll be sailing in the Tier 10 US carrier, the marvelous Midway. I played a lot on the test server during the weekend and decided to find out how well the Midway stacks up against its opposition. In this game, our team has a Midway and a Hakuryu. The enemy team has a Hakuryu as well. I don't know what kind of plane layout the enemy Hakuryu has, so I'm trying to sneak around the map edge to minimize my chance of running into fighters and getting my torpedo bomber shot down. What I'm trying to do is to find the enemy Hakuryu and sink him, because usually in high tier carrier games, whoever strikes first at the other carrier wins. Also, the reason why I'm going towards the map edge is the same thing. You cannot survive on your own against a carrier strike in a carrier, because for various reasons. One of them is that carriers have the worst turning circle in the game. You cannot evade attacks with it. On top of that, carriers are very weak against dive bombers. Yes, maybe the torpedo bombers won't kill you, but the dive bombers after that usually will. And well, I'd like to not die. I'm trying to win. Also in chat I'm right now whining about the huge issue Midway has. Namely, its concealment is the worst concealment of any ship in the game. It has an air concealment of 18.1 kilometers. That means any plane within 18 kilometers will spot it. And since there are really no islands to hide behind, I'm trying to stay as far away as possible from any enemy ships. But luckily it seems that the enemy Hakuryu is striking our Hakuryu instead. But you'll see in a moment what I mean that you can't evade. I don't know how good this Hakuryu is. And if he did what I'm going to do to him in a moment, I would instantly be dead, and I just don't like dying.
Group 3, we're under attack.
Also, it's not like the map edge really protects you that well. I usually don't have any problem killing people on the map edge myself, but few people do it.
Group 2, taking fire.
Most of those are really good players anyway, so the trouble is elsewhere.
Group 2, returning to
The Hakuryu tried slowing down, so my torpedoes would miss, but only one did. And I mean, he died just from that. And I still have 21 dive bombers on standby. So right now, what I'd like to do with the dive bombers is send one group in to attack the Yamato, set it on fire, and have the Yamato use its repair. And then after that I'll come in with the other two dive bomber groups and set him on fire again, so he'll just take a lot of fire damage from that because his repair will be on cooldown. Since the Hakuryu threat is neutralized and there are really no other ships that I have to be worried about, I'll just slow down, because planes land faster on a stationary carrier, and since there are no real islands I can hide behind, I'd like to stay as far away as possible from the enemy ships. Sadly, I was rather unlucky. The anti-air killed more than half my air group, and the one bomb that hit didn't set him on fire, so I didn't get a chance to utilize my strategy. But it seems that my allied Hakuryu is also attacking that Yamato, so I'll just wait for him to pop the repair cooldown and drop bombs on him after that. It seems the Hakuryu made a pretty poor torpedo bomber drop, as he also mentions in the chat. But at least he managed to use up the repair cooldown, so now I can do my drop. Luckily also the second ship has moved away, so the anti-air is a bit weaker. One thing I like about the Midway is that the torpedo bombers are pretty fast. Something like 150 knots. And 3 fires, that's pretty lucky. And that's going to do an immense amount of damage. I kinda feel sorry for that Yamato. But I mean, that's what happens when you sail alone. If you had had that one other battleship lying still with him, then I would say that his chances of taking that many hits were much smaller. On top of that, there are fighters on essentially all battleships and cruisers in this test. I mean, those fighters actually engage torpedo bombers and they will panic them. Even scout planes engage torpedo bombers and will panic them, but they do it a bit less. Midway has interesting fighters. They are really fast, 180 knots, but they have two real problems. One of them is that they are really fast. The issue is that the test server has a tier 3 commander skill that increases the damage your fighters deal to enemy fighters that they are fighting if the enemy fighters have more speed. And because Midway's fighters are the fastest fighters in the game, it means that a Lexington will be able to make his fighters go toe-to-toe with Midway and actually win. And the other issue is that they have too little ammunition. They can shoot down one air group of Hakuryu torpedo bombers, which is pretty silly. So right now I'll try to do a hit on the Izumo. I don't think it's worth it to spend my torpedo bombers on the Yamato, because I'll just be wasting it. I mean, really it would be if I tried to win as hard as possible, because my teammates are fighting the Yamato. On the other hand, I would hope that they could actually kill him. So I did the same thing. I attacked with the torpedo bombers on the Izumo, and that usually makes them use their repair, and now I'll try to do a dive bomber drop. But I mean, sadly, I am pretty unlucky that two cruisers are around. It's not even about the fact that they're going to use their ability. Many cruisers actually don't have it. It's the fighter that's killing my dive bombers, and I can't do anything about it. Once they engage, you really can't get out anymore. I mean, I've been standing in one spot for like half the game now, almost. And nobody has attacked me, so I guess standing there is mission accomplished. I'd still like to set the Izumo on fire to deal massive fire damage, but right now it's a bit questionable whether it would actually work, because the repair cooldown isn't that long. I mean, it's 80 seconds, I think, on battleships. So the Izumo already might have its repair off cooldown, and well, then this drop is just going to be a waste, but I'll try anyway. It's the closest ship to attack as well, so I'll lose the least amount of time. Normally I would start moving forward with my carrier, but looking at the teams that are left, there really aren't enough teammates for me, that if I mess up and die, I'm not sure if anybody's going to pick up the slack. They have 2 battleships and 3 cruisers left. And you saw right now how the fighter plus the anti-air just killed an entire dive bomber group before they managed to drop, and they went straight in. So stacking planes is really important, because the anti-air is still really powerful. Right now I don't even know what ship that is. The other battleship is closer and lower HP, so I'll try to hit him. But I'll have to hit him twice. First set him on fire, then he will use his repair, and then I'll hit him again. I like doing manual dive bomber drops because it usually gets many more hits, and many more hits means higher chance of starting a fire, which is what I'm really after. I mean, so far I've already had a pretty good game. I don't know what happened here, why it isn't showing where exactly the drop was, but well, 5 bombs hit and they did pretty good damage. I actually really like doing manual dive bomber drops. I think they are fun, as in they require a bit of skill. So right now I'll try to hit the Zao with one of the torpedo bomber groups and use the other one for the battleship. But I messed up a bit. The Zao slowed down and turned, which meant that my torpedoes miss. That's actually something I do a lot myself. That if I see torpedoes incoming, I immediately slow down and turn. So I'll try to hit the Izumo with the dive bombers I have left, and I mean the torpedo bombers I have left, and once he uses his repair, I'll try to use the one dive bomber group to set him on fire again. That's essentially all the strategy there is to it. It's the difficulty in playing carriers really isn't about the strategy usually, it's executing it. I mean, it looks easy to do these torpedo bomber drops, and to me it kind of is as well, but initially it wasn't. I would fail many drops all the time. Especially dive bomber ones. I still fail them quite often. But the trouble with knowing whether you're failing dive bomber drops is that I don't know if I missed, or it was lag, or I just had bad RNG. Because today I had a game where I did a dive bomber drop on a stationary North Carolina. I did a manual drop. The drop covered essentially the entire ship. What I mean is the entire drop area was inside the ship, and somehow only 2 bombs hit out of 7. And that just tells me nothing, because I can't tell whether I did a bad drop or it was lag or anything like that. Also, that Izumo strike was very lucky, because that was something like 3 dive bomber hits and 2 fires. That is pretty impressive. So now I'll try to hit the Zao again. On cruises I would like to eventually start doing manual dive bomber drops, but I'm currently not confident in my ability to land them well, so I just use manual. Also, I'm pretty confident we're going to win, so I'll just start moving closer in with my carrier. This was a pretty good drop. 1 fire and 2 hits. That's actually pretty abnormal on a cruiser. Half the time the shots, the dive bombers completely miss. I mean, this was lucky as well. 1 hit and it started a fire. Though I think he had his repair available, or maybe not. So I'll try to finish him off with torpedo bombers. Since he fooled me once, I'll try not to fall for the trap again. And yeah, this time I took him slowing down into account. I'm also a bit cheeky in chat about it in a moment. And they only have 1 Mogami left, so now it's time to finish him off. I'm actually surprised our Hakuryu survived enemy Hakuryu's attack. But I mean, I guess he wasn't the greatest player.
Group 2, returning to ship.
These 2 fighters are really annoying because I don't have anything to kill them with. The best I can do is have them attack one of my planes and hope that they die. Or you utilize the anti-air of the friendly cruiser. That dive bomber got attacked by the fighter and it's panicked. Wait, no, it isn't. The panic comes from the cruiser ability. The fighters also seem to prefer torpedo bombers. And I'm being shot at by the Hakuryu's dive bombers. I don't know why. I guess he doesn't know that intentional friendly damage can actually get kicked you out of the beta. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. Sadly, our friendly cruiser died, so it is still up to us to finish him off. This drop isn't really good. I didn't lead enough. It's going to mostly miss, and the dive bombers were struck by the fighters, so. But I got a bit lucky. The dive bombers killed the fighter, and the dive bombers still managed to hit. But sadly only one of those torpedoes hit, I think.
Group 2, maintaining present course.
So I'll just hit him with everything I've got. Actually, I probably should have repaired.
Group 6, taking fire.
But I guess it doesn't really matter.
Group 6, awaiting instructions.
I mean, he wasn't trying to kill me. If he wanted to kill me, I would be dead.
Group 6, engaging enemy. Group 6, returning.
Automatic drops are really annoying. They're really bad too. I really dislike the automatic drop thing. And I got the Witherer. If I really wanted to finish it right away, I should have just killed him with the torpedo bombers, but I figured he would die from the fire already. But I was wrong. He still has 107 HP left. So what I'd like to do now is to get as close as possible to him and kill him with my secondaries if he's still alive. And it seems he's able to avoid the Hakuryu's torpedoes pretty well. I mean, a tier 10 carrier has pretty impressive secondaries, so it's completely possible. I'll pull all of my planes up just in case that if I manage to not kill him quickly or the time starts running out, I'll just drop on him. But right now I'll just sail towards him and show my broadside so that secondaries can finish him off. Some cinematic feel for it. But yeah, this game's essentially over. The Midway has issues. I think the Hakuryu currently is better. If the Midway doesn't get changed, I don't think I'll be going for it anytime soon when open beta hits. But it seems the friendly torpedoes are going to finish him off, and we won. Also, what's really annoying with carriers right now is, or was in the test, was that manual drops was a skill, which meant that every time you upgraded a ship, your commander was in retraining, which meant that you couldn't actually do manual drops. You had to do automatic drops. Also, I did like 270,000 damage, which is actually really good. I mean, 110,000 of that damage is from dive bombers. But yeah, thanks for watching.